The Universal Health Coverage Prima Shujaa Conference in Kericho County enters day 2 with speakers stressing the need for access to quality and affordable health care for all.
The Assembly resolves to impeach the Governor under Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of County Governments Act, and Standing Order number 65 of the Standing Orders of the Assembly on the following grounds.
Also, Meru MCA's tabled second impeachment against Governor Kawira Mwangaza, accusing her of 7 violations.
Misappropriation and misuse of county resources. The Governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, 73, 201, 226, 227, and 230 of the Constitution.
And Freedom Fighters Association wants the government to set up a fund to cater for those who fought for the country's independence. Good afternoon and welcome to News Now. Here are the stories that are making headlines at this hour. My name is Hibak Said. To start us off, the government officials led by Cabinet Secretary for Health, Susan Nakhumicha, have lauded the introduction of the Digital Health Bill, slated for enactment, insisting the bill will provide a framework for the provision of e-health services, establish an integrated e-health management information system, data governance, and protection of personal health information, service delivery through digital health interventions, among other provisions. This as the Digitizing Health Service dominated talks of day 2 of the Mashujawi Conference at Kapkatet, Stadium in Kericho County.
I am very happy this afternoon to be hosting you all for day 2 of our celebrations. And I would never be happier than when we are talking about digitization. Because as somebody who is in charge of the ministry, I know that through digitization, we are at least going to be able to have real-time data that we can use for decision making. Many often, we have not met expectations on many fronts of healthcare. And it is because we have been relying on either no data or inaccurate data or outdated data. But with this digitization, I believe we are going to make the right decisions, informed choices, because we shall have real-time data. We have an ambitious target to ensure that we have an interoperable system to create a health digital superhighway, where everyone that is providing healthcare can connect to, where health workers can connect to, those providing commodities can connect to, those providing health financing can connect to. It is an ambitious target, but I know that together with my team at the ministry, being led with Dr. Langat, with support from partners, I am sure that we are going to achieve this ambitious target, and we have a plan for what we intend to achieve in the short term, in the medium term, and in the long term. So mine is to ask all the partners present to support us on this journey. It is going to make your work easy. It is going to make my work easy. And I want to thank you, Governor Wesley, for confirming that as COG, you are on board, because this will equally make us be able to communicate. And as you are very well aware, we have finalized on the digital health bill. Actually, we are expecting that the president should be ascending.
As you know, ladies and gentlemen, because it is crucial to our conversations about the welfare of our people, especially in the context of the unfolding world order that hinges on the fourth industrial revolution, which is defined by the digital explosion. The significance ladies and gentlemen, of the health sector in our national life cannot possibly be overstated. The founders of our nation knew 60 years ago that healthcare was one of the three pillars of a government that is concerned with the welfare of its people. Apart from healthcare, we have the two other pillars, the pillar of education, which is represented by the war against ignorance, and the pillar for wealth creation, which is represented by the war against poverty eradication. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 21st century, the interplay between healthcare and digital economy is becoming increasingly important. The world is moving away from the legacy platforms and the methods of doing things and embracing the modern digital platforms and methods. We are moving away from doing things the traditional way to more complex, ultra-modern platforms. The goals that we seek to achieve remain the same, but newer, faster, more efficient methods are necessary. That is where digital technology comes in. Nations that have fully embraced technology are surging ahead of everyone else in all spheres of life, healthcare included.
Elsewhere, the East African Portland Cement Company, EAPCC management, now claims that the disputed land where demolitions are ongoing has never been sold to anyone, or rather to Amy Malukenya, and anyone claiming its ownership is an invader. Speaking to journalists this afternoon at the company's premises, Managing Director Richard Mbithi confirmed the recent regularization of the sale of land reference number 8784, occupying a total of 900 acres. Now, earlier on, Azimio leader Raila Odinga, together with other Azimio leaders, were denied entry into the site. They lashed out at the government, saying the demolitions are ungodly.
That were beginning in Mavoko, we had some illusion that there was still existed some humanity, some basic respect for the law and human rights in the Kenya Kwanza regime. We were holding on to the promise Mr. William Ruto made during the campaigns that the forceful evictions and demolition of dwellings would be a thing of the past. It is a fact that in July 2022, during the launch of the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, Ruto promised that he would put to an end the culture of illegal evictions of people and property demolition if elected president. He went on to promise that where necessary, affected people would be provided with enough notice and compensation promptly paid. Well, it is October 2023, and a human tragedy is unfolding before the eyes of Kenyans under Ruto's watch and his loud silence, in fact, order. What has gone on here in Mavoko these past few days is not just inhumane, it is also ungodly. What is going on here is forced eviction, the exact crime Ruto promised to bring to an end in July last year. It's a gross violation of human rights, the right to adequate housing at a time the administration purports to be working to ensure that everyone has shelter. What's going on here indicates a systematic disregard of recognized human rights standards on the part of the state. The affected families, some among the poorest of the poor, and their upcoming middle class, have not only witnessed lifelong savings demolished and crushed to ashes, they have been left to fend for themselves on the streets without basic shelter. Children who are learning in some of the schools here have seen their classrooms flattened into open fields, the upcoming exams notwithstanding. a regime whose top leadership never missed.
All right, our reporter Mike Agwongo following up on that story and will update us in our subsequent bulletins. Elsewhere in Meru County, Assembly members Tuesday tabled a second impeachment motion against Governor Kawira Mwangaza. In a motion tabled at the County Assembly, the county legislators accused Mwangaza of committing 7 violations as grounds for her impeachment. Now, the governor is accused with, among many other issues, nepotism by violating some County Governments Act of 2012, gross misconduct, assigning diplomatic duties to her close family, among others. Now, she is also accused of bullying, vilification, and demeaning other leaders in the county, illegal appointments, and usurpation and statutory powers. Mwangaza is also accused of contempt of court, illegally naming a public road after her husband without following statutory procedures, and contempt of the Assembly.
The Assembly resolves to impeach the governor under Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of County Governments Act, and Standing Order number 65 of the Standing Orders of the Assembly on the following grounds. Count number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. The governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, 73, 201, 226, 227, and 230 of the Constitution, Sections 8, 12, 13, 16, 17, and 35 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, Sections 55 and 66 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, and Sections 45, subsection 2, and 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act, by engagement, connivance, and/or complicity in the following. A, the embezzlement of county funds through the governor's sisters, Rose Kinya Gwantai and Miriam Gwantai, brother Kenneth Gwantai Murangeri, brother-in-law Nefat Kenywa, and the nephew to the governor's husband, Henry Mutuma Murangeri, all of whom are from now on collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. Point number 2, Honorable Speaker, nepotism and related unethical practices. The governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, Articles 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution, Sections 12, 17, and 24 of the Public Officer Ethics Act 2003, Sections 13, subsection 1, B, F, subsections 16 and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012.
Now, the National Assembly has approved a motion extending the mandate of the National Dialogue Team for 30 days. This means that the talks will have to be concluded by 26th of November. Now, Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, appealed to MPs for budgetary support, telling MPs that the talks have been surviving on well-wishers' contributions. Minority Leader in the National Assembly, Opiyo Wandayi, hailed the talks for calming political temperatures, citing progress since Thursday last week.
Honourable members, what is before the House is very simple. Do you extend the time by 30 days or you don't? Not the merit or demerits of what the committee is doing. Honourable members, allow me now to put the question. Aware that the National Dialogue Committee was established by Parliament through a resolution passed by the National Assembly and Senate on 16 August 2023 and 29 August 2023 respectively, further aware that the resolution outlines the mandate of the committee, which includes to facilitate dialogue, consensus building, and recommend appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on issues of concern to the people of Kenya, acknowledging that since its establishment, the committee has made tremendous progress in exercise of its mandate and has achieved the following milestones: formulated and adopted the framework agreement, framed and adopted the statement of issues, and bundled the issues and agreed on prioritization of issues, harmonized and bundled issues, conducted public participation and stakeholders engagements in line with the requirements of Article 10 of the Constitution, and examined and analyzed the memoranda that were received from public and stakeholder submissions. Further cognizant that the committee is presently in the process of considering the issues for negotiations and recommending appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the framed issues, which are electoral justice and related matters, outstanding constitutional matters, fidelity to political parties and coalitions, and the law on multi-party democracy, entrenching the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund into the constitution and establishment and entrenchment of state offices, conscious that the resolution as passed by both houses of parliament required the committee to report to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions within 60 days from 29th August 2023, recognizing the need for the committee to conclude the consideration of the issues for negotiations, the process of making the appropriate constitutional, legal, and policy reforms on each of the issues as framed by the committee, and preparation of a report for submission to the leadership of Kenya Kwanza and Azimio coalitions thereafter to Parliament. Now, therefore, the Houses of Parliament resolve to extend the mandate of the National Dialogue Committee by a further 30 days from 28th October 2023.
Right, a stance apparently that is being, I beg your pardon, a stance that is being supported by both sides of the political pendulum. Now, Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua, the former, has officially handed over the Foreign Affairs docket to Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Now, speaking during the ceremony at the Kenya Railways headquarters, Mudavadi said he will continue and build on where Mutua left, with Mutua expressing confidence that he leaves behind a well-established ministry to champion Kenya's interests locally and internationally.
Development at the continental level in the spirit of positive Pan-Africanism. Similarly, we have worked diligently to promote Kenya's economic diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, and environmental diplomacy, as exemplified by the hosting of the successful 5th-year media coordination meeting of the African Union in July of this year, and the Africa Climate Summit in September 2023. Furthermore, in line with President Ruto's recognition of the important role that Kenyans in diaspora play in our country's development, I'm proud to have led the ministry in operationalization of the State Department of Diaspora Affairs, which since its inception is working tirelessly to enhance the welfare of Kenyans in diaspora. These great achievements would not have been possible without the support of my dedicated staff at the ministry, led by a highly professional leadership team at the ministry. I'm also grateful for the support offered to me by the Directors Generals, Ambassadors, and High Commissioners representing Kenyans abroad, the various heads of directorates, divisions, and units, as well as ministry staff serving both locally and in our missions. I remain confident that this team will extend to you the same support they have accorded me to enable you to execute your mandate.
As I take over this ministry, I am fully aware of the significance of my dual role as the Prime Cabinet Secretary and as the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs. The two portfolios complement each other appropriately in Kenya's social, economic, political, and security transformational agenda. I have been briefed extensively by my colleague, Dr. Alfred Mutua, on the place and conduct of Kenya's diplomacy, as well as the status of our foreign policy orientation, which underpins our engagements with the rest of the world. I therefore wish Dr. Mutua every success in his new assignment as Cabinet Secretary for Tourism and Wildlife. Meanwhile, it is important to understand that Kenya's foreign policy is an indispensable component in advancing the country's economic growth and development agenda. Our foreign policy will therefore remain anchored and fully aligned to the implementation of His Excellency the President's bottom-up economic.
Elsewhere, presenters from Radio 47 and the Cape Media had an opportunity to interact with their loyal fans from Western Kenya on their road that started in Kakamega town, Kaiga Market, Lubao and Malava, and later headed to Bungoma County. The roadshow attracted crowds of people who were excited to meet their favorite presenters that they always connect through the 95.5 airwaves, among them Emmanuel Mwashumbe, Alex Mwakideo, Hassan Mwanawa Ali, Arocho and Linda Oriaso. Our reporter Violet is on ground and will be giving us more. Take a look.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are coming to you live from Kakamega County, and of course locals there in Kakamega County who are privileged to meet their esteemed reporters or their esteemed presenters, Radio 47 presenters, and of course I am joined with the locals there who are so happy to meet them. Maybe if kama wewe kwa majina unaweza tuambia wewe unaitwa nani, tueleze hii leo, na kama unaweza angalia kamera tafadhali, hii leo umeweza kupatana na wale watangazaji wa Radio 47 kina nani ambao unawaenzi?
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Duncan, mimi ni mkaaji hapa Haega, na siku ya leo nimefurahia sana kukutana na watangazaji wa Radio 47 kama Emmanuel Mwashumbe na Alex Mwakideo. Yeah.
Okay. Labda pengine mawili matatu ambayo ama vipindi ambavyo mwenyewe unajua za Radio 47.
Kwa sasa hivi ni mingi, lakini sasa siwezi zikumbuka zote.
Sawa, niko na mashabiki hapa, naomba kama unaweza kuongea tafadhali. Wengi wao tu wako shy, lakini kama if my camera person, if you can just pan the other side, we have locals who have just turned out for the road show that is going on right now, Radio 47 road show, and of course the TV 47, that many of the locals have just turned up to, meet their presenters who are at Radio 47 and of course TV 47, and of course the road show started within Kakamega town, whereby they were able to meet locals in the market, and also here where we are at Haega Market, and later on of course they will be going to Bungoma County, and of course through Lubao, Malava, and later on they'll be going through Mumias, and tomorrow they will be in Kisumu. But of course we have presenters here who locals feel like they are so privileged to meet them today, and one of them is Linda Oriaso. Linda, if you can join us please. Many of the locals here, they are so happy they have turned out to meet reporters and also presenters at Radio 47. How is it and how is the show, the road show?
The road show has been marvelous. We want to appreciate our fans in Kakamega. The love they have shown us is amazing. The reception has been out of this world. Kwa hivyo kwanza ningependa kuzungumza kwa lugha ya Kiswahili kwa vile unajua tena wasikilizaji wetu wanaelewa Kiswahili. Kwanza Kakamega tunashukuru. Makaribisho yenu yamekuwa makaribisho ya kipekee. Pili, tutarudi tena. Tatu, waendelee kusikiliza 95.5 vipindi bomba, watangazaji wenye haiba, na kwamba tunawajali, tunapenda tukisonga mbele tukiwa pamoja. Pili, kama wewe ni mkazi wa Kisumu, usikose. Kesho tutakuwa pale. In fact, usiku wa leo tunalalia pale Kisumu. Baada ya hapo siku ya Alhamisi tunaamkia Kisii. Tunaanza na kipindi cha asubuhi Breakfast 47. Ikifika siku ya Ijumaa tunajumuika na wasikilizaji wetu wa Kericho tusherekee siku ya Mashujaa. Tunasema Kakamega tunawapenda. Tunakuja hapo ulipo wewe msikilizaji wetu, hata kwamba kama si wakati huu safari, tunapanga msafara wa kutembea kote nchini Kenya, kwa sababu tunapatikana kote nchini Kenya. Tunakuja tujumuike, tufurahie na tuseme asante kwa mapenzi yenu. Radio 47 hapa ndipo.
Yeah, thank you so much. So that is Linda Oriasa, and of course among many presenters who have just joined her in the road show today. Of course, we have Mwashumbe Alex Mwakideu, we have Hassan Monawa Ali, we also have Arocho, and many others who have just joined locals in Kakamega County. But of course, as I said, from here they'll be heading to Bungoma County, and later on tomorrow they will be in Kisumu County just to meet their fans who all enjoy most of the shows at Radio 47. Hapa ndipo. I take it back to you.
Right, that is our reporter in Kakamega who is going to be telling us more, of course, in our subsequent bulletins. However, right now we can go to Kakamega. A lot of fun is being had over there. Arocho, if you could just tell us what is happening on the ground.
Of course, locals there in Kakamega County.
If you're on the ground right now, we are
47 presenters, and of course I am joined
tomorrow. Arocho, if you can hear me, what is happening right now? If you could just tell us. I'm sure a lot of the viewers and listeners, TV47 has, of course, made a reputation for itself, touching the people who are in Mashinani. A lot of radio fans know a lot of the people who are going there, interacting with them one-on-one. One of our colleagues, Arocho, is already there. Arocho is a very famous name on the ground. Arocho, if you can hear me right now, if you could just tell us what exactly is happening on the ground, if you could just tell us what is happening, what are the people saying, what are the connections that we've made, not only as Radio 47 and TV 47, but as Cape Media as well. Arocho, take over.
From studios Nairobi, Said. With the presenters, and basically we are here to make sure that we get the feel, exactly how people feel about our products. And TV47 being that our TV that has been there for some time, and Radio 47, of course, a radio that's just been there for 6 months. And we are here in Malava, and we started our journey today at Kakamega with a very colorful interview with the governor of Kakamega, Fernandez, who was in the morning show of Radio 47. And we are moving from Malava. We've gone through Lubao, and eventually we are going to land in Kisumu. And tomorrow, the road show will be done in Kisumu and around Kisumu. We're going to have a live show in the Radio 47 morning show, where the deputy governor of Kisumu will be our guest. And of course, we'll move from Kisumu through Ahero, Sondu, Oyugis, and of course, we'll land in Kisii, where we'll have on Thursday another live radio show where we're expecting to have the governor of Kisii, His Excellency Mheshimiwa Arati. So basically, it is a road show to enjoy and get the feel of our viewers on TV 47 and our listeners on Radio 47. For guys who are watching us at home, if in any case you are around these areas of Malava, areas as we move towards Kisumu, and of course, as I said earlier, tomorrow we'll start our journey from Kisumu, moving through Ahero, moving through Katito, Sondu, and of course we are going to land in Kisii. So guys, it is an opportunity for us to enjoy the time that we're going to have, and this is basically to thank our viewers on TV 47 and of course our listeners on Radio 47. Wewe ambao unanitazama ujue kwamba mambo magangari kabisa ndani ya Radio 47. Niko na watu hapa kibao ambao wanajienjoy. Basi nakuregesha studio kwa mwenzangu Said kutoka Malaba. Mambo yanazidi kutamba. Kutoka Malaba tunaelekea Kisumu. Hatimaye kesho tutakuwa Kisii na siku ya Alhamisi tutakuwa Kericho. Kwako Said.
Thank you so much, Arocho. Clearly, a lot of fun is being had on the other end of that particular live link. We thank you so much for being our viewers, being our listeners. Keep it TV47, keep it Radio 47. Give us your comments, your compliments, your questions on our social medias, TV47 Digital. Thank you so much for being a part of this bulletin. We bring you more in our subsequent bulletins. Have yourselves a lovely afternoon. My name is Hibak Said.